is there anything, just to the business owners, entrepreneurs, managers that are listening to the podcast, is there anything that you advise or one thing that you would love them to walk away with?
Ignore that noise.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of outside noise coming from your closest peers, friends, and family. Block that out and drive through that fear,
Yeah.
And I guess the second part to that is, keep God first.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to direct you and guide you through wherever you need to be.
Yep.
So as long as you keep that faith with him, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Every time.
Hey, this is Jordan Hill with Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. Thank you, Compass Visuals, for sponsoring this episode. And just reminding everybody, we do have one spot open for another sponsor. It is my pleasure to be here today with Josh Craver with Shadow Protection. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. A little nervous, but
yeah. It's so funny. It's just those reps. My first probably 10 Dirt to Sky episodes, I was shaking. And so it's just going outside your comfort zone. And
that's why I agreed to do it.
Great,
I love stepping outside of my comfort zone and anything to help establish growth and personal development. I'm all for. So
I love it. Yeah. And that will inspire many that are listening and probably throw a lot of people off, because once they find out what you do, both things that you do, everyone's going to be like, man, I would have thought that he has had it all together and isn't afraid of anything. So I'm excited to kind of dive in so people can relate. Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about this, though, is I don't think anybody truly has it fully together. We're all just learning as we go. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right. So you own Shadow Protection.
Yes.
You're the founder, CEO, owner. Do you want to talk about what your business is?
Yeah. So we're a local security guard company here out of Salem, Morgan.
Yep.
We do a lot of really just entrance control, real basic security guard stuff, armed, unarmed, vehicle patrols, crowd management, events, stuff like that.
Wow. So, yeah. That
pretty
sounds
fun.
Intense.
It can be at times. Honestly, the cool thing with the demographics where we're at, it is very, very mellow. Most of the people here are really chill, really cool, very little problems. We're just more of a visual deterrent.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. So did you grow up in Salem?
I did. I was born and raised here. Only left once for a little bit with the Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support. Other than that, I've been stuck here.
Yeah, stuck here. I know, as many of us are.
You try to leave, but something just pulls you back. I don't know what it is, but
right.
You always find your way back.
There's a lot of great things about our community for sure.
There really is.
Yeah. And so, Josh, what's your background? Like, what was the journey that led you to realizing that you wanted to open up your own security company?
So it kind of stems from a childhood development. We grew up very impoverished, very poor, bouncing from place to place a lot. We never had anything steady or stable. So based off that growing up, I knew I wanted to do something more and better. And I never really had that stable, I guess, like father figure, you could say, like kind of help guide me or show me what to do. So I ended up joining the Marine Corps. That kind of helped really develop that, and still a lot of discipline in me in a lot of areas I was slacking in. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, right? Like so many people do.
Yep.
And when I was really thinking about it and looking at it, a lot of the duties that I did there kind of fell into the field of security. So I ended up getting a job doing loss prevention and here downtown. Loved it. It was a lot of fun, dealing a lot with the transient population and hearing their stories is really cool, and like kind of just helping them out. I really enjoyed it. So COVID hit, I ended up going into Amazon. And I worked for a DSP there. So that's a delivery service partner.
Okay.
Worked my way up to a management spot and learned a lot of managerial rules and duties that I otherwise would have never learned. And one day I was helping them out with finances, and I cashed a check for a single week for $98,000.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it just kind of hit me. I was like, Josh, what are you doing? Like, these guys are doing this weekly, and I'm cashing my $1,000 a week check. I'm like, okay, it's time to like take that venture and really see what I can do. And again, I reflected back on the Marine Corps and was really thinking, about every job I've done, and it all kind of fell around security.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was kind of like a safety net, I suppose, because it allowed me to focus more on the back end of like what it takes to start a business, everything I'm going to need to function and operate legally, everything I'm going to need to do, you know, behind scenes accounting, all that, which I still don't know. I had to outsource that one.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is history. I just finally took that leap and walked away from my job and started this, and never been happier.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I will ask a few more questions about, like starting it up, the operations. Let me go back and ask a couple questions about that story that you just told, because you said it as if it was just this smooth, seamless, like easy peasy, but there's a lot. We won't unpack everything, but there's a lot in that story, you know? And so first of all, I think it's really amazing that you know, anytime someone has a difficult, traumatic childhood and upbringing, it's in so many, it almost influences them or it does influence many to repeat those cycles, to do what they know. And then others, it inspires them to be the man and the human that they should have had and never had. So just acknowledging that you did that, and that's really amazing.
Yes, thank you.
In the cycle. And going into the Marine Corps, that's like the most intense one, I'm pretty sure.
It was very intense.
Oh my gosh.
To kind of touch on what you just said as well is, the statistics for my upbringing, there's a higher percentage of people that go the opposite direction. And it's very sad, but it is the sad reality of it.
Yep.
And I think that's where, again, the Marine Corps really helped me. And you know, I also got to give a lot of praise to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, he helped guide me along that way as well.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of prayer and being around those good Christian folk really helped kind of steer that with the Marine Corps. And when I got in the Marine Corps, I started going to church. And like you said, it was definitely hard. There was not an easy step along the entire journey. I just had to keep my faith and, you know, believe like wherever I was going, it couldn't get worse than my upbringing. So,
yeah. Was there somebody in your life that was a guiding star, somebody that introduced you to, you know, the church and your faith? Was there what were you pretty much just blazing the trail on your own?
For the most part, I was kind of blazing the trail on my own.
Oh, wow.
My mom kind of dabbled with it a little bit, you know, about 70s, 80s. She was more into partying and all that, you know, like most of our parents were. And so she was doing that. Every once in a while, we kind of dip our toes in it, then pull back out. And, you know, a lot of inconsistencies. If I were to think of one person, it would probably be my grandfather. He served 35 years in the Navy. Wow. He was also pretty good with his faith. So we weren't like close, but just watching him from a distance and seeing, you know, the difference, I think really helped steer me.
Right.
Into realizing there's a lot better out there than where I'm at.
Yep.
And then getting in the Marine Corps, an old staff sergeant actually really helped me dive deeper into my faith and kept pushing me to go to church. And I started going on Sundays.
Yep.
I really hate to admit this, but it's the honest truth. I was like a boot camp Christian. When I was in boot camp, I would go to church just to get out of getting destroyed in the barracks room. It was like 2 hours where they couldn't touch you and you were just kind of at peace, you know? And so the first, I'd say like 4 or 5 weeks, it definitely started as that. I was just trying to get away from getting destroyed and screamed at.
I mean, that is understandable, honestly.
Yeah. You're just trying to
survive. There's worse things that you could cope with that. Ways you could cope with that.
Way worse. About halfway through though, my faith really started developing. I kept following it all the way through. And you know, I'm not perfect. I fell off several times throughout that journey as well. But.
As we all do.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay. Wow. So, and then you got into eventually management positions, and you got something that some people I think don't see is you saw a little bit behind the curtain of what could be. And I think that's really neat that not only did you see that checked and just something clicked where you're like, oh, I might be meant for more than this, but then you took action on it.
Yes.
And that's something that most people don't do. So
understandably, it is very scary and incredibly hard.
Right.
That whole journey, just again, stepping out of your comfort zone, like me for this podcast, you know, business, the Marine Corps, it's that first step. I think is very crucial, and it's going to kind of show a lot about your personal character on who you are, what you truly want, and what you need to work on.
Yeah.
And, you know, when people ask me about that, you know, just taking that first step to starting the business. And, you know, you hear a lot of people are very controlled by fear. You know, they want that safety net of that 9 to 5, the benefits, the unknown scares a lot of people.
Right.
Understandably, I'm still scared.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been in business for 2 years and I'm still like, oh, what's going to happen? You know, but
yeah,
definitely taking that first step is like the hardest, scariest part by far.
Did you tell anybody kind of what you were doing, the fears that you had? Like, were you communicating with anyone about that supported you, or did you just kind of go for it and tell people later?
So I told a handful of people what I wanted to do. When I initially took that step, I didn't.
Right.
I kind of even tricked myself into doing it. I was sitting there, I had everything done online through the Secretary of State to register your business. And I remember I'm sitting there I had it all filled out and it just sat on my laptop on my desk. And I was just pondering on it, you know, thinking, and all like the possibilities of failure or success kept bouncing back and forth in my head, you know?
Yep.
It was like that. I was basically playing devil's advocate with myself.
Yep.
And finally I just walked over and pushed enter and submitted. I was like, okay, now it's real. I have to do this.
Yeah.
I think I kept that part to myself because prior to that, when I was talking to people and kind of getting insight, I had more negativity coming from people than positivity.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. A lot more people were negative about it because they're like, you know, starting a security guard company in Oregon, what are you doing? Like, who do you think you are? Like, starting a business, dude, you're going to fail. Like, you have a good job. What are you doing? And those kind of resonated with me and really sat heavy with me because I was like, what am I doing? You know, I'm like, is this right? Am I supposed to be doing this? And, you know, that's something, again, where I turned to my faith. I just prayed on it. And that's what led me to the steps of filling out the application online, which was already more than I'd ever done besides just talk about it like most people do.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Yeah, when I just sat there and prayed on it, something just clicked and I listened and did it. And yeah, here we are.
Wow, that's awesome. So that's like a perfect example of taking action even if you don't feel ready.
Yeah.
Because would you have ever felt ready?
I don't think anybody ever feels ready. Yeah. To be honest, there's still times going into business meetings, I still don't feel ready or prepared, you know, and I don't think you're ever going to really shake that feeling because as you grow and progress, as you know, like more challenges arise, you know, bigger opportunities present themselves. And then you almost just fall into that imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here and why? Like, I'm not supposed to be, or of all people, like, this is weird. And I don't think it really ever shakes off a lot of people. And I'm all the time. Like, I show up to work sometimes and I'm like, wow, this is still so surreal to me. Like, how did I get here? You know?
Right. Yeah. Does it get easier for you as you kind of live in that area outside your comfort zone? Or is it just, you know, you have to make that decision every time you
Every single time I have to make that decision.
Yeah.
I get just as nervous every time. You know, I overthink a lot. I'll get stuck in my own head. And like really battle myself on like, should I show up? Should I not show up? You know, and it's like that for business meetings, showing up for work, podcast, church. It's just a lot of stuff where I just battle. I'm like, but I force myself every time to take that step, regardless of the fear. You know, that's one thing I learned in the Marine Corps, a saying that I absolutely loved. It's not the absence or lack of fear in a person that makes him a man, but it's what he does in the face of that fear.
Yeah.
And so when I get really scared or I'm nervous or overthinking, I replay that and then I take that step. Yeah. And it's never as bad as I think it's going to be.
Right. So. Yeah, exactly. I know so many listening to this podcast will hear that and resonate with it, or it will inspire them to take that step when they're scared. I think as business owners, and I'm a business owner too, so from experience, like so many times we do, you know, see that on our screen, you know, and we're too nervous to click that button because it's like all the what ifs and the people that doubt you. Yeah. It's just a lot in our head, a lot of noise.
A lot of noise. Yeah, just learning to block that out and take that step or push that button.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it was 2 years ago that you started Shadow Protection. Okay, that's longer than many small businesses go. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
2 years strong.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have, well, I kind of know the answer because Salem Business Journal hired you guys for an event, and you guys are amazing.
Thank you.
But do you have like employees or contractors, or how does that work?
Yeah, I've got a couple of small contracts, a couple with the big event holders, a couple of bars. So I do have a few part-time employees, which is really cool. We're going steady. I'm not definitely as big as some of these other companies by any means, but I'm definitely doing good for myself and, get my bills paid. I'm able to live a pretty free life, which I really like, and to me, that's like one of the biggest indicators of success for me is I don't have to stress about rent, and if I go get a coffee, I don't have to check my bank account like I had to before. So
I love it. That's so great. Sometimes it's those little things,
just the little things.
Yeah. I love that. I always told myself that if I someday had, because I was raised with not a lot as well, and like many of us were listening. And I just remember telling myself, if I someday have a fridge with a water and ice dispenser in it, I'll have made it.
Yeah, I'm not that bougie yet.
Every time I get ice out of my fridge, I've got it made.
You're
I'm so
like,
thankful.
Yes, I made it. As nice as I've got,
awesome.
I got the little Brita filter in my fridge.
Yeah,
that's as nice as I've got. That's as fancy as I got.
That's great. No,
it is
got
so
a
nice.
filter.
Yeah. And my dog loves it. I treat her with that. She don't drink tap water.
Yeah.
She gets the purified water too. So we're doing good.
Absolutely. So I definitely relate to it's you, Shadow Protection, and there are larger companies in the area. I mean, that's the inspiration behind this podcast, is because all of us as small business owners, we always feel like the underdog a little bit. There's always, even if it's just a big chain or corporation, we're kind of the underdog and under them. And that contributes to the imposter syndrome or, things like that. And so how do you, like with your marketing and the way you run your business and getting jobs, how do you do that when you might feel up against a giant?
So I do a lot of my marketing actually by word of mouth. I haven't done a whole lot with social media yet. I did hire a marketing company in the beginning to kind of help. The first 6 months, I say I tried that. If it was not going well, I cannot market or sell. So
yeah.
But when I look at these bigger companies, it almost motivates me more than anything.
Yeah.
As like competition to do better, be better. I kind of study what they do and what works for them and what doesn't work. Kind of tailor stuff to me personally and my brand. And then that's kind of how we've been marketing recently. Again, that's still like a work in progress for me. I'm still playing with that a lot because I don't fully know. Marketing and sales has never been my strong suit and something I've never really paid attention to because again, I never thought I'd be in this position.
Right.
And now I've never been big with social media. So I'm trying to learn that aspect of it as well.
Yep.
Because it's 2025. Everything's online.
Right.
Instagram, TikTok, all of that. So
yep.
I'm really trying to dive into that and learn that. But yeah, to answer your question, I use that as more motivation than anything to see these people that came from the same point where we're at and to see where they're at now. And there's so many businesses out there and opportunities for everything. So I can't really say I get too discouraged by it.
Right.
More motivated to see if they made it this far, there's no reason why I can't.
100%.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. I love that you study what they're doing, what's working and not working, so you can decide if you want to take something from that, but also you're running it through the filter of who am I and what are my morals, values, ethics, core values, everything. So that's awesome. Do you have the goals of expanding to one of the size of one of those larger companies?
As of right now, I do not. I do want to get a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And pretty, I guess, self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Because I do want to add extra services to my company. With the Marine Corps being my background, I want to get more into executive protection and do more overseas work, contract work. So eventually I do plan to grow and expand to that aspect.
Yep.
But to get to the size of some of these companies, I don't really have the desire to as of now. Again, things can change. So I'm not going to say never, but where I'm at right now, I don't really think I want to get that big.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exactly. What's executive protection?
It's basically
one
bodyguarding for CEOs, business CEOs, corporate retreats. Anytime they go overseas, I would be the guy that goes be their driver, set protection, set driving routes and all that to make sure everything's fine. Same with political figures when they go overseas. If they don't want to hire or outsource with a specific contracting company, they just want two guys, that's where I'd come into play.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know anybody that in your industry that has taught you this, or how have you learned this?
All by research. I have done
Wow.
so much research and studying. A few like the executive protection I learned from my military days. I met a few guys that did that.
Okay.
But this aspect, no, I'm solely just researching, a lot of late
Wow.
nights where I'm up all night just,
Yep. Yep.
on the computer, on my phone, just studying everything I can,
Yeah.
reading. And, it's kind of the little bit of the behind the scenes that a lot of people overlook is the amount of
Right.
research and market research and networking that you have to do to learn this stuff, because it's not just posted out there.
Yeah.
So you got to dig deep to really find it and put in some serious hours to learn. And 2 years, I'm still doing that. So
Right. Yeah. That's so good to know, because a lot of people, I don't know if you're in the weeds day to day and working so hard and doing all this stuff, but to the outside looking at you and your company, I'm sure many, myself included, are like, wow, that's so cool. Like very much romanticize the job. But, and a lot of people look at probably many industries and think the same thing, but man, behind the scenes, like you're doing the not sexy work, like you're researching, it's those late nights, and it's a lot you're not where you're at just on accident.
Right. Yeah, it all definitely comes down to the work. I fell victim of that as well. For a long time, I was just romanticizing everything, and you just see that really big picture,
Yep.
And you just see the easy work of, the boss just comes in for a couple hours,
right,
signs a couple of checks, talks to a couple people, and leaves,
right.
And from the outside looking in, you're like, that looks amazing. I want that life.
Yeah.
And then when you start doing the work, you're like, when does the guy have time to do that? Like, I can't do that. That's crazy, because you're just so much busy just researching and learning different aspects of your business and trying to grow and expand while also trying to maintain where you're at. And there's just so much,
Yeah.
like, I guess, elbow grease that you got to get on and just keep grinding. But
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, especially in security, that a lot of people don't get. You look at it and it's like, oh, I just start a company, go talk to a business, they hire me, and that's it.
Right.
When you really start diving deeper into it, looking at, the overhead that comes with security, because there's a lot, especially in Oregon, and then learning accounting and bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Again, I outsource because
that's
like quantum physics when I look at it. I'm like,
I
I have
love
no
that
idea.
you're leveraging out what you, you probably could learn it, but does that mean you should? No, you should focus your energy on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Somebody else can't do what you're doing, but so.
Right.
Yeah.
And definitely when it comes to that aspect, I think it's smarter on my part to outsource, because if I get audited, I'd be screwed. There's no way.
Yeah, I use a calculator for my contracts, so I definitely shouldn't be booking.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I'm always on the calculator or ChatGPT a lot. I'm like, what does this mean? Because I have no idea.
100%.
Yeah. That's what's kept me afloat
know
a lot.
Your limits.
Yeah, know your limits. And I learned mine real quick.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely in the first 6 months, I think I learned a tremendous amount about what I can personally do or learn quickly and efficiently, and what I need to outsource. I would say for a lot of people that do want to start up, learn those boundaries. Unfortunately, the only way you're going to truly know is just to do it. So, yeah, make those failures. I fail all the time. I'd say a lot more than I succeed. I failed, but it's all part of the learning process and the growth. So
exactly.
You got to go through it.
Yep, exactly. In addition to that, is there anything else that you wish you'd known before you started your company?
There's a lot I wish I'd known. Definitely the realities. It's not, like you had stated, not as romanticized. I wish I'd have known about the amount of hours and the fact that you're going to have to wear, to start, every single hat of the company. I got to wear the CEO and owner hat, the executive manager hat, the security guard hat, the HR, the hiring and scheduling. Like, you got to wear every hat to start.
Right.
And I wish I would have known that up front, because I probably would have taken a little bit longer to build the capital to hire those people initially, instead of trying to do it all by myself.
Right.
Because I'm a sole proprietary owner, so there's no partnership out there.
Right.
And so wearing all these hats, I wish I'd have known that beforehand. Again, hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
So I'm really glad I took that step to just learn and grow and just fall on my face a lot of times.
Right. And way to just like push through it once you did find out, you're like, well, guess we're doing this. So
basically what I say every time is, well, I guess that's how I'm doing it. And then I just go that direction. I'm like, here we are.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So you do something else that I would love to touch on, because it's related in some ways, but also very different. You are a MMA fighter.
Yes.
And so, and again, like I've seen several of your fights, and that's how I met you actually.
Yep.
Was
my very first
right
fight.
after one of one. And that was very impressive. That blew my mind. I've gone to MMA fights. I've never known somebody in like the ring. So yeah, talk a little bit about that. When and why did you start doing that?
So I started about a year ago. A year and a half ago training. Honestly, never had the desire to step in the cage. Just wanted to train to get better, with my field work. I was like, hand-to-hand combat would be really good to know because people are very unpredictable, especially when they're under the influence. You just never know.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this is going to be good to know. Started talking to a lot of athletes, how much they enjoyed it and loved it. I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I was like, okay, like maybe I'm going to like this. So I started sparring, and those nerves I was getting, I was like, maybe just once, let's just try it one time. And it was a good but bad decision because I fell in love instantly. The whole buildup leading up to it, like my first fight anyways, the adrenaline, the nerves, the anxiousness I was feeling, I missed all of that. And I haven't felt that in so long. And not knowing the outcome, how that night was going to go, right? It's like, am I going to get knocked out and really hurt in here? Am I going to win? Is it going to be kind of easy? Like what's about to happen, And I miss that feeling, and it kind of correlates again with business because the unknown is what I love. And still pushing through that anyways with not bodybuilding, MMA. I felt that basically when you accept your fight card every single day, like again, your mind's just racing like, what if, like, am I trading enough? Am I dieting properly? Am I working as hard or harder than my opponent?
Right.
Like, what does he know that I don't? How long has he been training? So you just, again, back and forth. A lot like business where you're like, what's going to happen? Am I going to fail? Am I going to fall on my face? And the biggest difference with MMA, I'd say, is you literally get punched in the face and it hurts. Like quite literally hurts. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it's that agility basically. Now I know the one that I saw, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, you had a last minute change in your opponent.
Yes.
Right?
It was 5 days heads up about the new opponent. So the first guy I was supposed to fight, I think he was 1-0. And I was making my debut. We were the same height, same fighting style. So I was like, okay, this is a really good matchup. It was 5 days before my fight. They were like, hey, he's not going to fight. He's sick, but we got this guy. And then they're like, he's 4-0. He's 6'4". He's been training for 5 years.
Oh my
And I was just like, what?
Excuse me?
And again, I do kind of have an ego. I rightfully should have been like, no, that's not right for me. But I was like, I've already put in the work. I'm going for it.
Right. Man.
Yeah, face-offs and weigh-ins were a little intimidating. When I stood next to him, I had to like quite literally look up. I'm like, this dude is tall. And his reach, I was like, it's not going to be a fun night. But,
Good for you for just doing it, though.
Yeah, we got in there anyways. And we
we
mixed it up for about a minute. And then it ended. But
hey, I saw other ones that was a lot less than a minute. So good for you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that's a perfect example of just like something was sprung on you. And you're like, well, I'm not backing down without a fight, literally.
Not without a fight,
And it's like that in business too. There's unexpected things that
all the time
hit us,
all the time.
So even though you've had you've had two.
2 fights so far.
Yeah. And so you're just going to keep going, it sounds like.
Just going to keep going. Yeah. We're in a fight camp right now, which is really cool. So been training roughly 4 to 5 days a week, sometimes twice a day. Yeah. So we're really diving into it. Like I said earlier before we started the podcast, I'm working a lot on my ground game because I come from a primarily boxing background. Stepping in the cage, you got to know it all. And it is quite literally a chess game, like when you're in there. So one of my biggest downfalls and weaknesses was definitely the ground game. So I've taken a lot of time off to really focus in and hone in on that side of things. Again, the guy I'm going to go against is probably going to be a lot better, but I'm going to have more confidence in training. So my confidence will be a lot better if we go down. I know I can either get out of that situation or at least hold my own until that bell rings and we can stand back up. But
yeah, exactly. You'll have to keep everybody posted you'll have to post about it. So
absolutely.
We can come support.
Yes. I appreciate your support too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch, for me. But since you started MMA and the fights, have you noticed any differences in yourself as a business owner?
Yes, definitely my confidence has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
So now when I go into my meetings, I'm way less nervous. I'm still nervous, but I've noticed my confidence and my preparedness is a lot better. So when you step in that cage, you're fully vulnerable, right? You're just sitting in your fight shorts, hundreds of people watching you, spotlights are on you. So I'm like, if I could do this, why can't I do this 15-minute meeting with somebody, right? So my confidence there kind of really started to build up.
Yeah.
And I started preparing a lot more, just like I could do with MMA. I was like, okay, if I'm putting in this level of work to get prepared for this fight, you got to do the same thing with business and business meetings. Whether it's a 5-minute meeting or an hour meeting, I put the same preparation and now and dedication to it, as opposed to before I would just overthink, and the day would come, I'm like, oh no, like, what do I do,
Right.
So that's definitely helped out a lot with my confidence, my preparedness, and overall just facing that fear and rising to that challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So before we close out, and by the way, like, that is a amazing story. I'm sure there's just so much more under the surface that we don't have time to talk about, but definitely a story of strength and fighting through it. Is there anything, just to the business owners, entrepreneurs, managers that are listening to the podcast, is there anything that you advise or one thing that you would love them to walk away with?
Ignore that noise. There's going to be a lot of outside noise coming from your closest peers, friends, and family. Block that out and drive through that fear, And I guess the second part to that is, keep God first. He's going to direct you and guide you through wherever you need to be. So as long as you keep that faith with him, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Every time.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Well, it's awesome to see what he has done and is doing in you, and you're making a huge difference in so many lives around here.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Now everywhere, now that you're on this podcast.
Yeah. Still nerve-wracking, but
yeah. Good for you. This will inspire others that have maybe been nervous to take, an invitation to a podcast or whatever else. So
hopefully, it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah, you survived.
I survived.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. And where can people find you and your business online?
So I just made an Instagram page. It's Shadow Protection, I believe, LLC. All one word.
Yep.
And that's all I have right now. I'm going to do websites. So
there we go.
Just
all
on
right.
Instagram.
Hey, that's actually probably more important anymore on 2025.
Anymore, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Josh.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, keep us all posted on everything. And thanks
absolutely
again for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. And thank you to Compass Visuals for sponsoring this episode. And we'll see you next time.